The break?
Yes, definitely.
I promised what?
How to put your hand?
Oh, not how to put your hand. Where to put your hand. Who does not know where to put their hands? Well, you married men, you don't know.
I don't know.
That's true. Good answer. So many places. In public speaking, should you not know where else to put your hands, here is the basic foundation for it. View, if you can, in your mind, this thing called a pyramid. The pyramid, of course, looks like this. And this is exactly where you will put your hands. Somewhere within the pyramid. Now, going outside the pyramid, for example, okay? You've seen people do this. This isn't very comfortable for the audience to look at. All right? Inside the pyramid, all very good. Now, there's a reason why we're using a pyramid rather than a box, okay? And that is, for the most part, you want to keep your hands in the, well grounded in the base of the pyramid. This is the largest area of the pyramid. This is where your hands should be. Roughly waist height, a bit below, a bit above, it's okay. This is the area, this is the fat part of the pyramid. Everyone follow me? Yes. This is where you will feel, to your audience, you will feel grounded and solid. And when you deliver advice or you deliver data, this is where it is the strongest in terms of putting your hands. Okay? And I'm doing that as I speak. Right? I could say the same thing again. So when you put your hands in the base of the pyramid, you know, down at the base of the pyramid, near your waist, see what I mean? That there's something wrong with that. The word is incongruent. Incongruency means I'm saying one thing, but I'm doing something else. In terms of meaning, okay? In terms of meaning, I'm saying one thing. Keep your hands at the base of the pyramid where it's very strong and you know and solid and grounded. But of course, my hands are, in terms of meaning, my hands are all over the place. When you want to maybe make a point to highlight, the hands can possibly one hand to fit into the top of the pyramid. You can say it like this. That's fine. But you don't want to be doing this all the time. You don't want to be speaking and your hands are up. Why? I don't know why, but for some reason it's almost too close to your face. Okay, so maybe it's a bit distracting that way. You keep it solid. In terms of believability, do you feel that you know how to use your body so that you are believable, or do you feel you do not know yet? It's not a specific thing, I think, that one does, right? I think it's a combination of things. I think number one is how you say things, the words you use. But it is also keeping the hands in the solid area, the area of believability, and that is down here. Okay? They can be up like this. They can be whatever's natural for you. If you keep it down here, I think you'll be fine. So just remember the pyramid. If you want to highlight something and if you want to point something out, then of course naturally the hand, you see where it is in the pyramid now. It's a bit higher, and I can point something out that way. But when I'm just want to be believable and deliver and say what I have to say, this is where we do it, down here. Okay? So it's called the pyramid of power. More powerful down here. To highlight something, if you raise your voice, maybe the hand also comes a little higher in the pyramid. It's okay. Whatever it is, don't make it look like you've choreographed the whole thing out. Just make it look natural, if you can. Everyone follow so far? Yes. Okay, so now, vocal variety. If you thought that the body speaking is the way forward, wait till you get to the voice. The voice is the public speaker's weapon. And it is the weapon of choice of speakers who are powerful. We can call it the weapon. What weapon does a public speaker really have? If down to one weapon, what is it?
Voice.
The voice. It's the voice. It's not the words. Yes, the words will be your weapon, but you know what? we can all recite the same speech and it will come across differently to the audience. Each one of us. Same words, different delivery, different body language, and certainly different voice. Now, voice is not just the voice that you have developed. Stephen Hawking doesn't have a voice. He's got a little computer that sounds like a little computer. But people listen to him. Not everybody. We probably don't. But you know, the people who are in the scientific community, they listen to him. But it's not because of his voice. That one is because of his intelligence, the sheer weight of his intelligence. We don't have that advantage. We are mere mortals, and we communicate with other mere mortals. So we must use the thing that will affect them best, and that is the voice. Now, the voice will break down into several things. Men they tend to have deeper voices. This is an advantage. Ladies, you can give up now, okay? Just ask for the money back and go home, yeah. The depth of the voice, the fullness, the roundness, all of this helps to make people feel comfortable. But it is not everything. There is one aspect of the voice which will trump all others, if you ask me. Because it activates this thing I call drama. Now, why is drama in the voice thing and not in the body thing? Well, in the body thing I said take it out, right? Take the drama out. But in the voice thing I say put it in. And this is what I mean. I don't mean to change your voice so that, you know, if you're telling a story about you and your mother, that when your mother has when your mother's speaking, that you change to a woman's voice. I don't mean that. You can use your voice, it's fine. People will join the dots, they will understand that there are two different characters here. There are other things that you will need to do, but don't change the voice. If you change the voice, men, if you change the voice to a lady's voice to do a lady's part, guess what the reaction will be in the audience? They will giggle, right? Yeah, because it's silly. It's easy to make people laugh. All you have to do is do something silly. Change the voice, drop on the floor, do whatever. People will laugh, okay? It's very easy to do something silly, they will laugh. But if your message, and if silliness doesn't match your message, then obviously you can't use silliness. You've got to find another way. Okay, so, speaking about a dialogue with two characters, I'll just say it very quickly. When you're doing two characters, all you do is turn your head. Okay? So, my mom said, Merv, how would you like a new baby in the family? And I was 5 years old at the time, and I said, that'd be fantastic. So you can just turn your head. For me, I don't even bother to do that. I just somehow, pause or whatever so that people know that it's my mom saying this and me saying this. It's fine. I certainly don't go, Merv, how would you like a new baby in the family? And I was 5 years old. Yes, Mom! If you want the comedy, that's fine. You can get it. It's there for you, okay? But if it's not suitable, then you need to find another way. Okay, so that's dialogue when you tell a little story. So, the voice. Where's this thing? Here we go. This one you must learn how to use. The body thing, I say go natural and whatever. The voice, learn how to use it. And I think the classroom for learning how to use the voice is, ToastMasters is a fantastic classroom. But provided you listen, provided you pay attention to the quality of people's voices, then there are certain qualities to pay attention to. The voice is a very complex thing. Certain qualities. Volume. We all understand what that means, right? It's how loud you speak. By the way, if you have a large audience, should you be speaking louder or softer? Louder. If you have a microphone and a large audience, should you be speaking louder or softer?
Softer.
Louder. If you have a microphone, I think you do have a bit more of a choice.
No answer.
Loud, I think, is good for a large audience. And the further the last row is, the further you need to project the voice. I'm not using a mic now, but you all can hear me, right? I don't speak like this when I'm with my friends. I hope I don't anyway. In the car, I don't speak to the person next to me like this. That would be ridiculous. This has no intimacy to it, but of course with the larger audience, it does feel intimate. It feels like I'm with you because I'm projecting my voice. So volume, the higher the volume, that matches the larger audience. generally speaking. Obviously, if you want to highlight something, you can up the volume. If you want to point something out dramatically, you can lower the volume, provided everybody can hear you. But there are other things to do while you lower the volume. You might want to slow it down as well, okay? So, for example, an actor, if the actor's line is an angry line, all right? Father-in-law scolding the son-in-law. How dare you! Okay, scolding him. There are many ways to play this line. You don't have to shout the line. Most actors will shout the line because angry mom. Okay? But what about seething anger? Anger that is so terrible that the public cannot hear it. It's whispered into the ear. It's different. It's almost more intense. It's almost more angry, really, to the young boy. This is what Romeo got. He was discovered in the ballroom. He's not supposed to be there because he's from the hated family, right? So when he was discovered, are you a saucy boy? And he could have shouted it out, right? Meaning, oh, you think you're hot stuff, huh? You can come here and you think you're hot stuff. But of course, all these guests are here, so he quietly says, are you a saucy boy? He still communicates the anger, but softer. It's dramatic, and that's why it works. The volume. We've got pitch. Pitch is the lowness or highness of the voice. Okay? So I'm going to take a few steps up in pitch by going, this is very low, it gets a bit higher, and it goes all the way up to the top. So this is a change of pitch. That's pitch. The volume may have stayed the same, but the pitch changes. So a natural pitch for men is a bit lower than the natural pitch for women. Women, be aware of this, but don't let it stop you. Okay? We still like to hear you speaking. And you still have stuff to say. Okay? But it is not the easiest match for an audience, the higher pitch. So if you find yourself speaking a bit high, you need to work on that to somehow maybe have the confidence to take it down a little bit, if you can, somehow. My voice has lowered over the years. Everything has lowered over the years, okay? The voice has lowered. So, it's good for public speaking. I had a squeaky voice when I was younger, and I don't have a squeaky voice anymore, and it works well for me, so I'm quite lucky that way. Voice, huh? Here's one that is often misused. Rate. Rate is the speed at which you speak. And usually the speed is too fast or too slow? Too fast. Not only that, too fast and then ignores punctuation as well. Have you heard speakers like this? Have you done it yourself? Too fast and then ignore punctuation. Bis lah, well, no one's going to understand. To the native English speaker, this is very difficult, very, very difficult to get. If it is too fast and the punctuation is ignored. They do it too, but it is particularly difficult for them because they do not hear examples of this all the time. Half the time we hear examples of this, so we kind of, we evolve the right ears to hear this kind of stuff, okay? But beware, if you're a public speaker, you want to be in control of the rate of speech. How fast? So usually you might have to slow it down. There's also something as varying the rate. Have you heard of monotonous? Yeah, monotonous means mono, right? The same, one beat, all the time. The net result is that it's boring. So you might want to vary the rate. So at times you might want to speak quite fast, and then slow it down. In fact, if you're delivering a message, your message usually is in two parts. Today I'm going to tell you about the day I rode a bicycle and fell. You can do it like that. It's just one sentence, it's not difficult. But if you split it in the right place, it can work. Dramatic. This is where the drama comes in. Not in what you do here, really. In their minds. In their minds, there's a moment of suspense when you say, today I'm going to tell you about the time I rode a bicycle And of course, just the way I've done that bit, it's obvious I'm not finished, right? That I've got a little bit more, so I'm holding you in suspense. That moment of drama is yours. And I'm in control of it, that's all. So I'm in your imagination, and I'm in control of it. And how I felt. And then they're ready for the rest of the speech. And quality, I don't know why quality is there. Quality is a good voice, bad voice, it doesn't matter. Stephen Hawking has a lousy voice. Frankly, it doesn't matter. It's the voice that you have. That's what matters. It just matters that you speak. And you can be in control of the other things. Yeah? Okay. The voice is the weapon. It really is. It is how I earn my money. I'm very clear about that. When I mastered the voice, in addition to the other things I had to learn, everything changed. I can manage 100 12-year-olds by myself for 3 hours. How do you do that? I mean, I know how to do it. It's in the voice. Because if I have to jump up and down and dance, I know halfway through I can't stand up anymore. It's happened, right? So it's in the voice. And of course I use a microphone, but I will change the rate. I will hold them in suspense by doing this. What's the next one? Those. By the way, if you want the single most powerful thing, right? If you're a public speaker that wants to make some money through public speaking, the single most powerful thing you can learn how to use is this. You master this, you control the world. At least the world in the room at the moment. You will control them. You master your pauses, you will be in control. Absolutely, no question in my mind that this is the ticket. And of course, this has to do with the voice, or rather, the lack of sound at times. Really important to pause. I don't know if you noticed, but I pause a lot when I speak. But I don't pause and then everyone's thinking, oh, he's wondering what to say. No, it's not that kind of pause. It is simply pause so that the way the gears are turning in your minds, I am with you and maybe leading a little bit. That's all. It's very important. Now, with this final project tonight, I would like you to focus on the pauses. The other stuff, it's okay. But really, the pauses. Because I have this thing where a little game I play with some of my friends called the awkward pause. And that's where we don't say anything and just see how long we can go with an awkward silence and nothing else. I played it with one of the MEF members the other night. 3 seconds, she couldn't handle it anymore. 3 seconds, couldn't handle it. Some people can handle more. So it's not so easy, the pause. I mean, when I think, oh, it's just a pause. Yeah, we don't understand what the pause is. But doing it's another matter. Try it out tonight, if you can. Your speech doesn't have to be fantastic. I want you to try out the pause. Pause midway through a sentence. Pause midway through a word. The word might have 3 syllables. But I paused halfway through the word. Not balls now, you know. Try pausing halfway through a word. If you mess up, good. Why? Because you will need to make all these mistakes at some point. You either make them tonight or you make them in the real world at work. So it's a good place to do it. Try it out. Try a pause halfway through a word, halfway through a sentence, at the end of a sentence, end of a paragraph. Pause, look at your audience, assess a little bit, continue. See how the pause feels. I'd like you to try the pauses tonight. Okay, so we break into groups with the same format, except I'm going to give you even less time to prepare a speech. This time, decide on a topic. The topic will be something you hate. Something you hate about the world, maybe. All right? Maybe you hate world poverty. Maybe you hate hunger, or world hunger. Or maybe you hate something else. I don't know. Maybe you hate durians. It's durian season now. Huh? You talk about something you hate. And if it goes for 4 minutes, that's fine. If it doesn't, that's fine also. I'm interested to know whether you can deliver and pause and use the pauses to control your audience. Okay? All right, good luck. I'll give you, I think we'll give you 6 minutes to prepare the speech, point form. And then we start speaking, okay?